Now I'm going to create this solid model as shown in figure. Here I'm going to use normal sketch option. We are going to create multiple lines. Then I'm going to create a the model using extrude option. To make the holes, we can use subtract option. See, if you clearly observe now, this model is very simple. First, we are going to produce this cross section. Then we are going to add material to that cross section. So later, you can select this space and make a hole. So I'm going to use simple line commands or polyline command to create the cross section. Then extrude command to add the thickness. Later, I'm going to create a circle and go for subtract option to make a hole. So I will assume since here they didn't specify the angle between these inclined surfaces, I assume that the angle between the surfaces is 90 degrees, or otherwise the surface makes an inclination of 45 degrees with the center line. So first start with the sketch, draw the whole cross section and use extrude to create the major part of the solid model. So let's move to AutoCAD. So I'm going to use a template to create a 3D model. So let's choose this option, like press new. I'm opting for ACAD ISO 3D template. Click OK. So define the units and set the limits. Then I'll start from the top view, top plane. See, remember that you can only draw a 2D sketch on XY plane. So here red line represents the X and green line represents the Y direction. So I'm opting for the top plane. So just rotate it. See that you have this orientation. Let's press zoom all, Z enter, A enter, and draw the cross section. So I'm using line option initially. So all the dimensions are clearly mentioned. So I'll start with the base. So randomly select a starting point. Switch on the ortho mode. See, I need to move along 100 along the x-axis. Press enter. Then the thickness of the base is 12 mm. So let's move along the Z direction about Y direction about 12 mm. Enter. Then this length is 24. Just check it from the drawing. It is clearly mentioned. The height is 40. Enter. Then I'm going to move about. I'll create the slant surfaces later. First, I will draw a block. So the dimension should be 52. Enter. Then move along. So let me check this once. So from here, I need to consider 52. Let's use a line. So starting point. This value should be 52. Now move along 40. Enter. Then 24 about x and 12 about y direction. So initially I created the boundary, press escape. See, now I'm going to create two lines which are actually 45 degrees inclined at 45 degrees. So for that, see, I'm going to draw. Uh, I want to use offset. So I need to start 8 mm from this point, no. So because this length should be the slant surface starts 8 away from this vertical edge. So I'll use offset option. So let's specify the distance. So I'm pressing as 8, enter. I'll select this object and move. I'll just select this direction. I need to show the direction, no? So offset will be along this positive x direction. Similarly, let's select this edge and move along this direction. So I'm done with this. Now let me create a line, no? So I need to here the depth is mentioned. It is 15 plus 6. So I'm going to offset this horizontal line about 15 plus 6, which is 21. So let's select this object. So by default it is picking 8, but I want 21. I'll create one more line about 15. Okay. So randomly I will draw two lines which are inclined at 45 degrees. So I need to start from here. So switch off the ortho. So press tab. See that angle should be 45 because we assume that I'm not bothering about the length at this moment. Uh, let's put the angle as 45. Press enter. Press escape. Similarly, draw one more line starting from here. So press tab. You need to carefully observe the angle of inclination. So in this case, it should be 135. Enter. Now I will draw two vertical lines. Once again, switch on the ortho. I will draw a line starting from this point of intersection. Draw a vertical line. Press escape. Repeat the process from this point. Escape. Now I'm going to trim the unwanted entities. So use trim option. So I will delete the this line. So delete the unwanted entities. So I'm going to delete this portion of the line and also this one. Okay. Similarly, I need to delete this. So if you closely observe, you'll get this cross section. So if you want, you can cross check the dimensions. Let's add a dimension. Go to annotate. So I'll check the orientation between these two surfaces, whether it's 90 degrees or not. So let's zoom in. I'll select these two lines. If you see, the angle is clearly 90 degrees. So at the moment, I will leave it like this. Now I need to add the material. So I'm opting for the isometric view. See, now I'm going to add material to this by using extrude option. Extrusion line should be 40. It is clearly given in the figure. So go to home, use extrude. So before that, no, we used the line option, no, line option to create these entities. No, see, these are all single entities. I need to convert the area inscribed by this close by these lines as a region. So you can use that option region. Select all the entities. Press enter. Now I'm adding thickness to this. Use extrude. Select the surface. Enter. And move along the Z direction. So the value should be 40. Enter. Now I'm done with the major portion of the object. So let's, for my convenience, I'm using a different view. So just play with this this option. Okay. Now let me create a hole. So to create a hole, no, I need to select this surface. So change the coordinates to, I'll consider this face now. So let's move to, let's opt this option. I'll pick face option. I'll select this face. Accept it. Now I'll draw a circle. So they didn't mention the dimension clearly. So I will assume that diameter of the circle is 10 mm. So before that, let's draw a line. So I'm drawing a line. I'll join this midpoint with this midpoint of this edge. Escape. So I'll take the midpoint of this line as the center of the circle. So draw a circle. See, by default it is picking the center of that block. Actually, if you can pick that, you can use that option. So I'll pick this as center. So radius, I assume it as 5 mm. Enter. So I created a circle now. Now let me create a cylindrical feature. Later I can subtract that cylindrical feature from the solid. Okay. So let's use extrude. I'm opting for the circle. Enter. So produce it a little bit larger than the thickness of that solid. So I'm randomly producing it. Now I'm going to delete this, subtract this cylinder from this solid model. So use Boolean operations. So it will subtract option will be available under solid editing. So I will pick this option. So select the this feature. Enter. Now I need to subtract the cylinder from that. Let's select it and press enter. You'll have this solid, the hole. So you can mirror it onto the other plane. I'll show how the mirror works. So now let me change the sketch plane to this front face. So I'll opt for, I'll select this face, accept it. I'll change the view to top view. So I will draw a line which should act as a mirror line. So let me pick the midpoint of this and randomly draw a line. Let's escape. Why I'm drawing this line is to this line acts as a reference for mirror option. Let's use isometric. So I'm going for mirror. So let's opt for see under modify. You can observe mirror option. No, let's select that. So I will select this cylindrical feature. Let's check whether I can pick that or not. So I'm unable to pick it. So just press undo. So before subtracting, no, don't subtract it. First do the mirroring, then we'll subtract both the cylindrical features from the solid model. So I'm just moving to this particular step. So initially I will do mirroring, then I'm going to subtract it. Okay. So let's draw a line. So I'll choose this face as the sketch plane. Press as accept. So switch on the ortho. Just draw a line. So I'll draw a line from the midpoint. So I'm randomly drawing it. Press escape. See, I think I didn't create it properly. Let me redo it. Or I will produce along this direction. Press enter. Without clicking, I just pressed enter. So pick the midpoint carefully. So I can snap it very easily from here. Press escape. So I created an entity now. Now let's check whether the mirror works or not. So move to under modify. Select this mirror option. Okay, I'll select this cylinder as object to be mirrored. Press enter. Then mirror plane. I will assume this as the mirror plane. So it's asking us to whether erase the source object. So I want to retain. So let's press no. So I have two entities. So now let's subtract these two entities from this main solid. So go for subtract option. So I'll select this object as the first entity, enter, and I'm going to subtract these two entities from the previous one. Press enter. So we are done with the model. You can cross check it. So you have two holes. So this should be the front view. I will consider this as the front view. So I need to extract the views now. You can delete this line if you want. I'm done with the model. So let's move to model space, sorry, layout to create the drawings. See, this is actually the model that you created. So it is represented using a viewport area. So I want to delete this. I don't want to have this view. So change the size of the sheet to A4 landscape. Allot plot area as layout. Scale as 1:1. Click OK. Close the window. Now I want to get the views directly based on that model that we created. So go to layout. I'm opting for base. I want to create a base view. So from the model space, So it takes a little bit time to generate the views. See, according to the model that we created now, this looks as the front view, but I don't want to consider this as front view. So what I'm going to do is I'll just place it and change the view to a different shape. Like I'll pick the top. So this this view I want to be the front view. So based on this, I will create the remaining views. Okay. Uh, Check the scale. I want to have 1:1 scale. I'll put all the views as hidden lines visible. So I'll opt for this option. You can pick any one, but this is the one I mostly prefer. So I'll pick this. So everything looks good. Let's click OK. So now let's place the remaining views. So I place the front view. So I will place the top view. Then I will place an isometric view. So I'm satisfied with these views. Just press enter. Don't press escape. You need to press enter. So automatically it will create the views. So realign the views so that you can save space. Let's select this isometric view and move nearer to the solid. So I paste the views. So let's add center marks and center lines. Press escape. See, you have two holes. So to represent the holes, I need to mark center points. So go to annotate. Let's choose center mark and select these two circles. So here these two holes are hidden in the front view. So I will create center lines. So select center line option and select these two entities. Automatically a line will be placed between those two entities. So similarly, add a center line between these two lines. Now add the dimensions. So use dimension option. So you can add dimensions to both the views. So see that you don't repeat the dimensions. It don't look good. So I will mark the dimensions for the holes. Let's show the distance between this edge. So similarly, mark all the remaining dimensions. I need to show the angle between these two entities as 90 degrees. This length as 16, 6, sorry. I'll show the distance between these two entities. So you need to show the dimensions so that you can easily create a drawing based on this. You can show the height. So I'll show the width of, based from the top view. Similarly, you can add you can show this distance. So you can show the thickness. So I'm done with all the dimensions. So at the bottom you can specify the scale as 1:1, we used scale as 1:1, no? So let's create a text box. Add a text specifying the scale. So don't forget to mention the scale. Now I'm going to convert this drawing file into a PDF form. So just right click on layout, use plot option. So change the so I want to save it as convert this into a PDF. So use this option DWG to PDF. Click OK and name the drawing. So automatically it will generate a PDF document. You can take a printout and submit it.